So here we go, everybody. This is Ann. Ann's been a friend of mine. Actually, I've known her husband quite a while. Family friends. And then Ann was my personal trainer for getting ready for Miss Indiana and Miss Indiana USA. And she has just been just a loyal friend, has helped Chris and I on some random business adventures with fitness stuff. And I thought she'd be a really good person to talk to. Ann has competed in physique bikini competition. She'll explain that in a minute. But she knows the pageant industry because of me, and she's helped me get ready as well. So I thought she would be a great person to talk to. And I've asked her to give us some general knowledge. So at the end, if you guys really want something, and she will verify this, but I'm pretty sure she'd be open to helping you guys get a customized plan of any kind and work with you on that if it's something you're interested in. Yeah, so Ann, I'm going to mute myself, and you do you, girl.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ann. I actually have my degree in physical education and health. And actually, after I graduated, I decided that I wanted to pursue the personal training thing. And once I got into that, then I wanted to compete in bikini competitions. And I did that in 2012. I won actually 2 competitions, and then I got 15th place at the Arnold Classic, which is a pretty big show. And then I went on to do some national competitions, and I had an epidectomy 3 days before the show. So since then, I haven't really gotten back into it, and just recently had a baby. So yeah, I haven't done the fitness competition, but I'm still doing the training of people, and here I am. So anyway, I just wanted to start out with a couple of basics. Most at least in the bikini world or any bodybuilding world, they diet for typically about 12 weeks, and they'll do their diets in phases. So I would say, like, obviously you break it into 3 phases is the easiest way to do it. So like week 1 to week 4 would be your first phase, and I'll give you some basics on what you can eat, and then you can probably find online some like food swaps to switch out, because you don't want to like eat chicken for every meal all week, because that gets really boring. So look for food swaps online. There's like probably tons of different ideas that you can find. But one thing that I really like to do is start my day out before I work out, before I put anything in my stomach. I drink 16 ounces of water with a wedge of lemon and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. It really just helps kind of like cleanse you, and I've got a few of my clients on it, and they absolutely love it. It just really makes your gut feel light. It will probably make you go to the bathroom. You can look up some more benefits. There's a lot of benefits to apple cider vinegar online. Really, really good for the digestion, though. So it's good to kind of get some of that excess stuff in your gut out, especially at the beginning. But I do it every day. Finally got my husband to do it, and he loves it. But then I also would try to drink 16 ounces of water with every meal. So you're going to be doing about 5 to 6 meals a day, and you're going to want to drink water with every meal. So that way it's easy to get your water intake in. Us bikini girls, you usually try to drink a gallon of water a day. I don't know where you guys are at, but at first, a couple weeks, it could make you gain some water weight. So if you're really close to your pageants, don't start adding water. But if you have about 12 weeks, I would definitely recommend adding some water in. Plus, it's good for your muscles, especially if you're working out. Sorry, my cat's tail. Anyway, you really don't want those muscles to cramp or any issues with that, and it'll help with recovery. So really, really try to work on that water intake. Okay, but as far as food, let's see. The first 1 to 4 weeks, you really want to, let me look at my notes, hang on. Come on. You really want to focus on making sure you're getting a lot of protein in every meal. I usually try to get about 4 ounces. So I'll do like 4 ounces of chicken. Sometimes I like doing cod. One fish that I try to stay away from, if you probably hear about it a lot, is tilapia. Some people are all for tilapia, but personally it's a bottom feeder fish. So it's taking everything off the ground of the lake or sea or whatever, and it's all that muck and stuff, and like there's got no nutrients. You want to have good, fresh, well-eating fish. You know, you don't want mucky fish. Anyway, so I try to stay away from tilapia. I really like cod. It's kind of got like to me, a buttery taste to it. So it's good with seasoning. So yeah, I try to do about 4 ounces of meat at every meal or protein. And
you said 6 meals a day for
6 meals.
6 meals, okay.
5 to 6 meals. I usually did 6, and then the closer I got, I'd maybe drop a meal off. So at least in these first 4 weeks, you would want to do 6 meals. So let's see, where was I? So one thing I like for breakfast is egg whites. A lot of you will probably have some egg whites. And Eggland's Best actually makes like little cartons of just the egg whites. So you can just do like a half a cup and like scramble it or make an omelet or whatever. But usually if you're going to do the actual egg where you have to separate it, it's probably about 4 eggs. And usually, and for breakfast, I would do like half a cup of fruit with my breakfast. And then when I was like really hardcore, I would eat just raw oats. So it's kind of gross, and bland. So, but you'll get your water in if you're eating that. So that would be kind of like my breakfast. And then I'd have like a mid-morning snack. Sometimes I'd like kind of switch back and forth just depending on the day. So I wasn't eating the same thing all the time, but I'd either do like a protein shake for like a snack and then some like almonds or something. Or I really, really liked Quest bars. There's a lot of different flavors, and to me, they taste like really good, especially if you're on a diet. They're like heaven. So that's kind of like your mid-afternoon snack. Again, you want to keep your protein the highest, and then you want to go carbs, and then obviously the lowest calorie intake you want is fat. But I always try to get every one in every meal. So you can get your nuts. Sometimes I'd throw veggies in there because you can get carbs through your veggies. And let's see, lunch, I would probably do like either my chicken breast or cod at that time. And then usually like a brown rice and vegetables. You could do sweet potatoes too. Sweet potatoes are really, really good. Again, you want to like portion everything correctly so that your protein's the highest. And then that mid snack, I would either do my protein shake or the Quest bar, and maybe like something else to go with it, maybe like a scoop of peanut butter, or yes, you can have a little bit of peanut butter. Everybody loves peanut butter, right? So maybe a tablespoon. Don't go crazy on the peanut butter. Don't like get a honking thing. Just a little bit of peanut butter just to get you that little taste. Or maybe like half a banana or something. And then you go into your dinner. Again, you could do your protein, chicken, your fish. you could, I'm trying to think of like different things. Dinner, I like tried to make dinner just because like my husband likes dinner. So I always try to have like a salad with dinner or something, but don't go crazy on the dressing. Usually for dressing, you want to keep it like a tablespoon or two, and for your whole salad, and no more. So really try to measure things out. And with the salad, I mean, get creative. I put like almond slices in my salad and fruit, and like I chop up apples or something. There's so many different things that you can do with salad. Pinterest it out because there's a lot of ideas. And then I'd have my meat with it. Like the other night I made turkey taco wraps. So I just did like a little romaine leaf, and then I did my turkey tacos. I made my own seasoning, and then I just put like some pico and just barely tiny little bit of cheese on there, and my husband actually liked it, and he didn't even know it was turkey until I told him. So that's always good. If your husband eats it, you're winning, or boyfriend. So then a lot of people at night would do a protein shake before bed, just to help with like recovery of their muscles. So, but when you do this, you really want to pick a protein that doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, because there are some proteins out there that have a lot of sugar. So you don't want that before bed. If you're going to be eating like fruits and stuff, try to have those closer in the morning, not in the evening. So that would be kind of like phase 1. So then we go into weeks 5 through 8. Let's see. Okay, so this, you want your protein intake to stay pretty steady in this phase because it'll keep your metabolism high. And you also don't want to be losing any muscle mass. So you're still going to keep that protein intake high. And you can do your food swaps so you're not getting bored, because I'm going to be honest, like it gets really boring. There were times that I would eat this, I'd do my meal prep and I'd eat the same thing like every day. And then you just get wore out and you don't want to do it anymore. And you'll have a cheat meal and then your spiral or whatnot. So try to like really switch it up, because I went through times where I would really, really fall on the weekends because I ate the same thing every single day. So really, really plan out, especially the dinners. I think it's easier, if you're at work or something, to eat the same thing for lunch. But then when you're at night, try to get creative. And let's see, you're going to keep your water intake up through this phase, if you can, or if you are doing all 12 weeks. Breakfast. It's pretty much the same.
Are we still at 5 to 6 meals at this point in phase 2?
You're still going to do 5 to 6, yeah.
Okay, 5 to 6 meals. So just to recap, so we're all, I don't know if we have anybody else jumping on or anything. So pretty much we're drinking 16 ounces of water almost at every meal, and we want protein at every meal. And we're eating 5 to 6 meals throughout the day. If you're going to have fruit, have it earlier on the day, probably because of the way it spikes your insulin, I'm assuming.
Yes. You don't want to have that sugar late at night, especially because you're going to go to sleep. So really try to get it. I always try to eat it mainly before noon. Okay. And if I'm going to have something, it'd be like I said, apples. And I would just like chop them up. I wouldn't eat like a full apple. I'd chop it up, put it in my salad. But apples are actually good for your metabolism. So that's something that you can have later on in the day.
Perfect. And then at this point, we're staying on protein, staying on water. And is there anything that changes as far as, some of the girls know what macros are. Should we still be eating the same percentages of proteins, fats, and carbs at this point?
Yes. Like I said, you want to keep into phase 2, you want to keep your protein higher. Phase 2, you're going to start to change the carbs a little bit. So not drastically, but a little bit. just so that we can kind of start leaning out, because we want to keep that metabolism still high. So you still need those carbs, but we want to also keep our muscle. So
the carbs in phase 1 would have been a combination of like brown rices, quinoa, along with vegetables. At this point, we're
yes, vegetables, yeah, because you are still gonna get your carbs from vegetables like broccoli. If you can honestly like probably get a chart online of where like how much carbs are in certain vegetables. So like broccoli is a high carb vegetable. You can have like the sweet potatoes, asparagus. Those are all good vegetables with carbs. So that's
really that's when we start cutting out. What kind of carbs are we just cutting back on carbs in general?
When I did mine personally, I would have like I'd almost kind of like carb cycle. So one day I would have brown rice twice, and then like the next day or like 2 days I would have only brown rice once, and then I'd go into brown rice twice, brown rice once for 2 days. So I'm cutting it slowly cutting it out, which is a little bit less and less. I personally kept the vegetables the same. It was just personal because brown rice is kind of like really bland, you know, so it's easier for me to cut the brown rice out than it was for vegetables. And there's more carbs in it. But another thing that is a good alternative, I wouldn't really recommend it too close, but if you ever for cooking want to use like soy to do like a stir fry or something, trying to think of the brand. Bragg's is the brand. They make like an amino
acids. I have it. Aminos.
Yeah.
Liquid aminos. Yeah.
Yeah. Liquid aminos. Yeah, that's what it's called. And it's actually really good. I've cooked with it and I put it in like stir fries and stuff. And of course, the husband doesn't know the difference. So
they're good.
Yeah.
It's buy that instead.
It's a really good alternative. So you're slowly, in this phase, you're slowly cutting out your carb intake. And by the way, I don't know if I said like how much protein you're probably going to want to get. Anywhere from like 20, depending on your size, you're probably going to want to be at about 20 grams to like 40 grams of protein each serving. So like 4 ounces of chicken breast is about 40 grams of protein, just an FYI. You can look it up online or put it in like some of those apps, like it'll tell you exactly how much it is. Mm-hmm. But I also have a scale that I had bought, a food scale, and that for my prep like really, really helped me out. Like I could just throw it in the scale and it'd weigh it, and then I could throw it in my containers. So for prep, that's like really, really good. So I don't think I need to really go over exactly your options to eat because like I said, you can food swap, but you're just going to be cutting out more of the carbs in this phase. You want to keep the water up, keep your protein up. And let me go into you can still have the 6 meals a day. You can still have the protein at night.
Are we in phase 3 now?
We're going to, yep, that was the end of phase 2. We're going to go into phase 3. So this one, your carb and protein intake are going to drop. So both. You just want to mainly reduce your total calories. One thing that you can do in this phase as well is drop your water. Now, when I did my fitness competitions, I did like 2 weeks before. Some people, depending on how much they drink, will do 4 weeks before. You'll see like online, some people even do like a few days before. I don't really like doing that because I think it's like a shock to your kidney. So I
did it for Miss USA, and clearly that didn't work out right. and it was fine. I was happy with, we did it more so for our swimsuit show, which was day one of Miss USA. And I think my body really reacted hard to everything we were eating afterwards because of how strict it was. So I did water depletion, and I was really, I mean, even the pictures of me leaving Miss USA, I mean, it was, 10 days difference, and me coming home, I just swelled. My whole body just swelled. The water depletion technically worked for what I needed it to, but I felt like I relapsed. But it's probably because of the stuff I ate being in Louisiana. I mean, we didn't really have a lot of say in what we ate. It was all creamed, buttered, fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did you do it for?
I think it was 3 days. I think it was 3 days, and I literally only ate like eggs and chicken and only had a certain amount of water that I was supposed to push throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then right before, I ate a banana because my body wasn't used to the sugar or the carbs, and it helps everything pop. And that's what they had me do. I just decided I'd never want to do that again. I was miserable. But
I wouldn't recommend it like that. If you're really, really muscular, like these bodybuilders, like before their shows will eat like tons of sugar, like donuts, they'll just like pound them just because it kind of makes your muscles swell. But if you're not that muscular, like
none of these,
you're going to bloat.
Okay, yes.
You're going to bloat. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. So like when I did it for my first 2 shows that I won, I did it for 2 weeks. And was it 2 weeks? I was at 120 ounces. And then the next week I dropped to 80 ounces. And then the next week, the week of my show, I dropped to 40 ounces. Okay. So it was like gradual. It wasn't drastic. And my muscles really looked strong, and even like I kind of have some like pockets on my thighs, and they were completely gone. And so now I'm kind of like, maybe they're like water pockets or something. But when I dehydrated, like they were completely gone. And my other show that I did, wait, what?
Can you explain the science behind water depletion and what it is and why top competitors do it?
They just do it mainly to lose the water weight. I mean, I think I probably lost over those 2 weeks, probably about 6 pounds in water. And it really just showed all my muscles, and it made me very, very defined. Now, when I did it for the Arnold Classic, I kind of did it the 3 days before. And for me personally, I felt like it just dehydrated my muscles really fast. And like, I mean, my abs were like completely gone. Like I just didn't have that same definition as when I did it gradually. So you'll see things out there, different ways to do it. It's kind of one of those things that you kind of have to see what works for your body. I like the gradual thing because I didn't feel like achy, and I wasn't getting cramps like when I did it just drastically. I was cramping up a lot. So yeah, that just, I would rather, me personally, do it gradual. And not to mention that, I mean, a few weeks after that, I went into the hospital. So part of me is like, I wonder if that was because I like dehydrated super fast. But probably not. It's just my mind. But anyway, so this last phase, you want to, mainly the protein that I would recommend taking out is the one right before bed. So you're really going to drop down to about 5 meals a day and get rid of that after dinner protein shake. And you're also, again, reducing more carbs. So if you were eating, like for me, I was eating that rice, 2 rices a day. Now I went down to 1 at every meal. So I was like reducing that. I think that's mainly phase. I hope you can't hear my daughter in the background. It's mainly the last phase is you want to reduce that protein this is the phase that I like always really hit it really, really hard because you're at the end. And that was when I usually kind of ate a lot of the same things over and over again. But it worked. I was just uber strict about it. So the main thing is to prep. Prep is like key. I mean, I don't know about you if you are at school or at work, but for me, I will smell some pizza and then I'll be like, oh my God, I have to go get something, you know, where if I have it in the fridge, I'm more forcing myself to eat it, and I already worked hard to make it, and I don't want to waste the money I already spent on buying it. So meal prep is key. And I also was one of those crazy people that carried around a gallon jug, and I still drink the gallon jugs. So that just helped me. I use these. These are like 24 ounces. So I'd have to fill this 5 times a day. So that would just kind of help me keep on track on where I was on my water.
I think we have some questions at this point. If you're or answering them, I'm just going to start at the top here. Well, hold on. Let's wait till we get to everybody else.
We have a chat.
Yeah, we can open it in a minute. But I have some really general questions. So a lot of the girls, I will tell you, either they are at school so they don't have access to meal prepping, or they're working a lot with their parents. So are there certain foods the week? I mean, I think a lot of the girls are in fear of losing track or bloating or kind of getting off track the week of the pageant, because a lot of the times we're stressed. We're not, we're either not eating enough, or we're eating too much, or we're out of control we don't have any control in what our diet is, what we're fed. Are there certain foods that we should avoid the week of the competition, the week of the pageant?
I would definitely say bread. Probably don't want bread. That will definitely make you bloat a little bit. I don't know, kind of think about what you eat during the day. If there's something that makes you bloat, don't eat it. You kind of know how your body will react to things through these phases. So if you see your body reacting to something, don't do it, especially that week. Now, if I don't know really about the pageants, like if you're having like coolers on hand and stuff like that, some good things are like tuna packets. Those are really easy to go, as well as like just plain deli meat, that you can package things up. If there's anything that you can easily package, that would be good to take.
Hard-boiled eggs?
Hard-boiled eggs, yes, definitely. Because you can even find those pre-made that you don't even have to boil them, and they're already done for you.
Yeah.
So another thing I didn't talk about, just saw this over here with something about cravings. If you have a problem with cravings, you have to be really, really, really careful with your cheat meals. A lot of cheat meals or if you'll hear people say, oh, I'm going to start a diet on Monday, I'm going to eat what I want all weekend. Well, that is like the absolute worst thing that you can do, because it's going to make your body like crave all that chocolate and burgers and everything that you ate. So don't do that. So if you're giving yourself a cheat meal, and I say cheat meal, not meals, or not a cheat day, it's one meal, really be careful about what that cheat meal is. For me, a good cheat meal would be like steak, potatoes, and a glass of wine. It's not absolutely horrible. I'm still in my realm, and it's not something that's going to make me like crave chocolate and grease or anything like that. So really, really be careful with those cheat meals, because those can cause cravings.
So my girls, I probably would they like cookie cutter answers. I do too. I would probably say absolutely nothing deep fried.
Yeah.
You don't have anything deep fried on your cheat meals.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, you guys, especially if you are really, if you have a pageant coming up, if you're either in phase 2 or phase 3, I would really start cutting back on excess dairy.
Yes, yes.
That really bloats me really, really bad. As soon as, for me, what I works for my body, and because I've had people to help me, like Anne, I remove dairy from my diet the entire week of my pageant. And along with, I think, what are things that ferment in your stomach, which would be things that make your pee smell funny. When you, like, asparagus ferments in your stomach, right? Is this right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Anything, yeah. Stuff like that. I guess that's what I avoid. So for cheat meals, make sure it's not fried, you guys. I mean, be smart about it. You don't want to undo all the work you've done and make your week ahead even harder. I mean, it's going to be hard. You're training. I mean, if you really have a really strong goal in mind, you're training. So don't make it hard on yourself. So I say, pop, anything deep fried, those are breaded, those should not be in your cheat meals. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah. I would recommend no pop at all through your 12 weeks. And really try not to have dairy if you can at all in the 12 weeks. That's a really good point. Dairy has a tendency, especially like milk and yogurt, to, I don't even really know how to say it, but leave like a film over your muscle. So just try to cut dairy out completely if you can. The cream in the coffee. I know you don't like black coffee, but just try to do it plain, or switch to maybe like a green tea, to try to get your little caffeine kick in. But I would recommend no dairy at all if you can.
Okay, so my next question is, again, for the girls who don't have this, have as much control in their meals, if they don't have a kitchen or along those lines, would it be safe to say that they can mold the paleo diet into phases? Could you do that? Because paleo is no sugar, no dairy, no legumes, and no grains.
Yeah.
So technically you could just change your protein levels and your water intake minus the bacon.
Yeah.
Or no.
I think it would be okay. You still want to keep your levels. You still want to have that protein, carbs, and fat, because having each group is just like really, really important for everything to work correctly, really. Carbs do help with recovery of your muscles. So if you're working out, you still need those little things, and you still need fats. Like, you just want to get your fats in different ways that it's not like, a brownie or something. You can get it through your nuts and your peanut butter and things in that way. I would just, I think that any diet or any healthy way of going about this is good. You just want to make sure you get all those nutrients in. You don't want to really cut any specific thing out. That would be my suggestion. But
so focusing on making sure you're getting the ample amount of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates is really the takeaway. And the week of the pageant, then really make sure you're cutting back on anything that might bloat you. And maybe if you've trained hard enough and you've really tried to build muscle, maybe cut back on water just a little bit. But I think most of the girls here in this group, not to say that this is true for every pageant girl, our goal is to be lean and to not bloat and not have any jiggle. But at the same time, the Miss America organization especially really we all, well, Miss USA and Miss America and the United States really, I think the girls are trying to achieve more of a toned version of Victoria's Secret. They really like that long lean muscle. So, if this is scaring you, don't let it. I ask Anne to be very specific with a competition diet. So for those of you who are really serious about either going to Miss America, Miss America's Outstanding Teen, Miss USA, or Miss Teen USA, once you win your state title, you need to be doing something like this to get ready, because and your body will react different. Everybody's muscle structure, everybody's frame is different. We're not asking you to reach a certain dress size or a different measurements. Your body is going to be different, no matter, because that's simply how God made you. You can try to alter it, plastic surgery all you want, but at the same time, your body is going to react to foods how your body wants to. So Anne has given us pretty much very, in my opinion, pretty basic knowledge that you can apply if you'd like to. And I think it's really smart to really go through and watch us again and maybe make some more notes. So let's look at the questions that are up here. Craving, she talked about that one. She was asking if we have a lot of girls, well, I am vegetarian, so that's been an experience, trying to get my proteins in. So I know I have a couple girls that are gluten intolerant, and she says she's having acidic problems in her stomach. Do you have any experience with those?
Not throughout the competition. I don't. For the acid problem, really maybe try out the apple cider vinegar and see if it helps.
Oh yeah.
Because it's really, really good on your digestion. But again, I recommend mixing it with water. And it will kind of taste bad the first few times that you do it, but you get used to it pretty quick. But I do it with water. It can be pretty harsh on your esophagus. If you're just doing straight shots, people do that, but that's why I mix it with water. And I can get my water intake in. And what was the other? The stomach, and then what was the other one? Gluten.
I think you're pretty, just no grains, right? Is that?
Yeah, you're just gonna have to cut out your grains. And I mean, Whole Foods has like a lot of stuff that's gluten free, so you just might have to get kind of creative on your food shopping to try to get something that got that fulfillment.
I think they'll probably just be in phase 2 for both times.
Yeah.
And phase 3 the entire time. How about protein powders? I know a lot of the girls, because you can get protein powder anywhere these days, and Walmart has a brand. Is there a brand that you think would be best that are low in sugar that still doesn't taste like chalk?
Yeah. Okay. I really liked, BSN brand. I really, really like that, but it does have the sugar. So if you are going to, you may have to cut it out sooner than phase 3, so you may have to go a week or 2 earlier. But I really I'm like big on taste. Like if it tastes bad, like I can't drink it. It's just, that's it. Like I can't do it. So I really liked the BSN stuff.
Is there an ingredient or two that they should be looking for specifically, not for it to have?
There's some, I'm trying to think. Bodybuilders right now are really into that. I'm trying to think of the brand. It's isolate something isolate. I can probably find it on my tablet, like kind of quick. I could always message it to you or something, Mekayla, if you wanted me to. I can't think of it. It's ISO something, I think.
That's a whole line of ISO something or not ISO.
Yeah, I think that's
isogenics. Is it isogenics?
No, I don't think so.
If you wouldn't mind just grabbing a couple of brands that you think would be decent protein shakes for us.
Yeah.
There's some options. I think everybody is capable of shopping online at this point, or going to what is that supplement store? GNC, yes.
Yeah. GNC to me is expensive, so I like to get my stuff from the Vitamin Shop.
Okay.
But I just know that someone said they use EAS. That's a good brand. They're a good brand that I would recommend. And their stuff, I actually, when I was at the Arnold, got a whole bunch of their vanilla packets, and they were really good for baking. So if you're doing like protein pancakes or something, I really liked theirs. Like, it didn't change the flavor a whole lot. Trying to think of such a meal prep. What's the best way to meal prep? Okay, I always do my meal prep twice a week because I like my food really fresh. And I noticed if I did it on Sunday at the end of the week, it just wasn't really good. I mean, it's not gonna work out. So I always do my meal prep just for like 3 days, 3 to 4 days. So I'd always do it either Sunday, Wednesday, or Sunday, Thursday, whatever you really had time for. So, and when I meal prep, I'd also weigh my stuff. I'd have all my containers and I'd weigh it. I grilled most of my meat. Trying to think of anything else.
We can open it up if anybody else has any other questions. And like I asked before in our group, if you guys really would like, I mean, Anne, are you open to that? Are you open to do programming for girls if they want to set up with you and
definitely
do that? How does that work and how do they contact you?
You can contact me either on Facebook Messenger, or I can give Mekayla or someone my email.
Can you type it in the mail? Do you know how to open up that chat? Type it in the chat that all the girls can see.
I see it. I can type it right there. There we go. And my name on the screen is Ann Healey. You can find me on Facebook through that. But basically for that, I would just kind of give you your generic stuff and then a lot of things that you can swap out so that you get that variety that you want. And I could maybe even throw some recipes your way that I've personally tried. Now, when you guys are at school, I guess my concern, those of you at school, is you can't cook things. So are you relying on what is, I guess, like meal plans at school that you pay for? Or that would be my question for you guys.
Are you at a buffet right now? I mean, what do you eat? Do you guys have like a cafeteria? Some of the girls that aren't on, I know are. Can you hear me, Sam? Can you talk, Sam? I'm unmuting you. Unmute. You can talk.
Hi. Yeah, we're required to be on the meal plan. I've contacted the student life. It's like been a big deal. But hopefully I might ask to be on the 5-a-week meal plan just because I am capable of cooking myself. I do know like the basics of cooking. And I feel like the majority of the food here it's all grease. I mean, even like the healthy foods, I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
So, but I feel like if I can like take some of the things you mentioned though, I can like take it back to my room and cook more with it. I'm actually have a kitchen, so I think that'll be easier. So I can have a more variety of meals. So that's why I've been eating chicken straight for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that gets boring.
Which is like a bad decision.
Green Giant has good microwave vegetables, like steamed vegetables in the bag, and that brand is Green Giant. I really like theirs, but they do have some with sauces on it, so try to stay away from they taste good, but try to stay away from those at this time. But I mean, like their steamed broccoli in the bags, like that would be really easy if you just make your chicken, then you could steam those. And there are the minute rice. Those are really good. So you literally, they come in little containers. I can probably have some I could show you. And it's like a cup, and you just put it in the microwave for a minute, and the rice is done. Okay. So that's like super quick and easy. I'm trying to think of other like easy options for you guys at college and like what I would have done, because that just seems like hard. I mean, even if you could just ask them like, okay, I have to use my meal, can I just get like a pound of turkey and take it back to my room? Like.
And I was thinking to talk, I'm wondering if I could ask them to get kind of like something specialized, but I know other people do if they have to have a vegan diet or something. So I wonder if I could say, hey, I'm in pageant prep mode, I like can't eat this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Worth a shot. Okay.
All right, Elena, to answer your question, I think I can help here. So being down at Miss Indiana for the week, it's definitely, we're fed a lot of meals, so don't be disrespectful and not eat, but you're allowed to pick what you eat. So for instance, on the salad bar, if you're going to eat a salad, pick around the croutons, pick around the cheese. I know you guys go get pizza one night, so that's, I think, night one. This is sound bad, but I know you aren't competing in swimsuit, so I don't know if you need to, and you are also 15 and your metabolism is like that of a dream. So I don't know if you really need to be applying a lot of this to you right now. Being conscious of what you're eating is very important, but if you guys do want to meal prep and bring it in a cooler, you're more than welcome to. And a lot of hotels, if you call ahead of time, you can request a microwave and or a refrigerator. I do it a lot when I travel for auto shows because I would eat like crap and spend a ton of money on these cities. So I always call and ask for a microwave, or if not, at least a refrigerator. That's possible. Just a couple of questions. Do you have any, maybe I'm opening a can of worms, but for workouts and specifically for girls who are really cutting or really, in the pageant prep mode, I would say at this point they're at least in week 2, phase 2 or 3, if we're talking prep here. You think do you have a say on how many times, what type of workout should they be doing, assuming they've already been working out? Cardio versus, HIIT versus low intensity, high intensity, weight training?
I really liked strength training and then doing my cardio. There's a lot of controversy on that too. But for me personally, during my training, I really like to do it after because from what I have read, you've already really, really worked your muscle, and then you're going and doing this cardio, whether it's high intensity or steady state, whatever you're doing after your workout, it burns more sugars. Whether that happened for me, there's no way of knowing, but it really worked out for me when I did my shows. And when I did my cardio training, oh my God, I switched up constantly. I'd probably do about 30 minutes a day. And I'd come up with the craziest things on the treadmill. I'll tell you what, people would look at me like I was probably going to fall off, but I mixed like plyometrics in there. I'd get off, I'd jump rope, get back on the treadmill. Just always try to mix it up. Rarely did I ever just go for like a 30-minute run. Since I had bigger legs, I tried to stay on the treadmill opposed to doing like the stair mill or the bike, just because that can kind of add some size. So I would do I did a lot of incline walk. And pretty much on my leg days, if I was doing cardio, I'd always incline walk afterwards. And then just strength training, I always tried to I'd always do like a 2-week phase, and I still do this in programs that I make for people. So say if I was doing strength training, I'd do like bicep and back one day, chest and triceps the next day. I'd have a leg day. I'd actually do legs twice because I would train 6 days a week. And I did my shoulders twice a week. So that would kind of be like all the workouts that I would get in, and trying to think of where I'd go. And then I do that for 2 weeks. Maybe I do like that. I think if you're in phase 2, you can still lift pretty heavy. Now, once you get into phase 3, at least the last 2 weeks, I would try to start upping your reps and less weight the closer that you're getting to your pageant. just because it's going to help you lean out a little bit so you're not looking quite as muscular. So I don't think that you guys, and you could, even a good thing for you would be to add in like a yoga a day, because stretching really makes those long, lean muscles. So either put a stretching routine in every day, or maybe pick one day and try to do like a yoga routine or Pilates. I mainly, because I was in bikini, did strength training, like heavy strength training. And then when I got closer, I leaned off just a little bit and did heavier or higher reps and less weight.
So phase 2 and 3, because I think most of the girls are in phase 2 and 3 right now. Should they be strength training every day on a proper schedule and then cardio every day, 30 minutes? Or yeah.
I mean, I did 2-a-days. So I actually, when I was like really hardcore into it, I did like my heavy training in the morning, and I did a light cardio session that didn't take so long. Mm-hmm. And then in the afternoon, I would do the exact same workout, and I would do less weight, just mainly going through the motion, getting my muscles just moving. And then I do a like heavy, really hard cardio. So that's kind of how I split it up. But I mean, I was going from like 4:30 in the morning to like 9 o'clock at night. So I was like crazy. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm 30, almost 30. I cannot do that now. So you young bucks might be able to do it. But, I would really probably recommend kind of like, if you don't have a lot of time in a certain day, do more of the high intensity that doesn't take as long.
Okay.
You can probably get a really good cardio workout in just doing like plyos for 10 minutes. I mean, I still do that now. I just am like, okay, I only have 10 minutes to do cardio, so let's just hit it hard. And then, you know, on your days that you can go a little longer, then switch it up. I mean, I think it's good to have a plan for your week. You don't want to ever go into the gym and be like, what am I going to do today? You're going to spend more time thinking about what you're doing than being effective. So, I mean, if you have like a Sunday, just like your meal prepping, write out exactly what you're going to do each day for 2 weeks, you know, and then the next 2 weeks, do it again. And I personally wrote down my weights every single time. So I track it. So when I went into the next week, I could kind of go, okay, last time I did 15 pounds, maybe I can just put these little 2 pounds on there, and I can just try to get a little more weight in there. Or, you know, you're doing legs. I think I can up it on this last rep, 5 pounds or something, but you don't know unless you track it. So I really think that writing things down is good to be consistent. Trying to think of what else as far as training. And even, you know, I said, you know, back and biceps I do this week, chest and tris. I do that for 2 weeks. And then, you know, sometimes the next 2 weeks I change it and I do back and bis, or I'm sorry, not back and bis, I just said that. Back and chest, and then like arms. So I do bis and tris. So, I mean, you can change it up. And that's a good way to not get bored too, because it's really easy if you're doing the same workouts all the time to get bored, just like with your diet. I mean, you're eating the same thing all the time, you get bored. Any questions? I was kind of like talking really fast.
I mean, I think you gave us a lot of information. I'm sure a lot of girls have to go back and watch it again to, you know, write notes, and sometimes you hear it again, hear things you didn't hear the first time. I can't thank you enough for staying on, for taking the time to do this. I think diet and healthy diet is something that a lot of us struggle with in the pageant industry. I think more so because everybody thinks they have to be a certain status, size, shape. So having a plan, I think the takeaway from all of this is have a plan and stick to it. And would be happy to help you, get you a plan for you. Her email, for those of us who are watching the recording, is Ann, ANN, LOKEEFE1 I'll make sure to post it in our group as well. If you would like to contact her and see what services and programming she has available for you, having a plan is most important. And the thing I want you all to make sure you're not doing is doing the yo-yo, and you stick to something for 5 days and don't like it or think it's not working. You have to trust the system. That's something that I, getting ready for Miss USA, didn't do. And I listened to probably about 4 or 5 different trainers, and they all told me different things. And it really confused me where I should have just trusted one and stuck to one that I knew well. So having a plan, sticking to it, and seeing it through the end. And at the end of the day, your goal is to feel good at state. And it is, I know Anne's a little bit more intense because they are literally judged on the physical makeup of their body. We are not as much. We are more so judged from the neck up, to be honest, but we still have to be healthy and the healthiest versions of ourselves. So again, if this did scare you or think, my gosh, I've been doing everything wrong, you may have been, but it doesn't need to be to this caliber until you're really getting ready for nationals or Miss Universe. But I think it's a good rule to follow. And again, I really recommend reaching out to Anne and seeing if she can get you a customized plan and maybe a more clear version of what we talked about. That way, there's no more guesswork. And when we get to guessing, then if you're like me, you're Googling at nighttime and you're reading all these crazy articles that these people have done, and it confuses you. So don't make this too complex. Don't overthink it. Actually, getting ready for competition, getting ready for pageant is quite simple. And I think that's why we all think we're doing it wrong, because it really is simple. The simple diet, it's really bland. It's a simple workout routine. You just mix it up. And yeah, so I have nothing else. Anne, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I just think consistency is key. Definitely when you guys are at these pageants, I mean, you're going to feel run down and stressed, so make sure you're taking your vitamins. Really, really good thing, especially through this whole phase, you're going to be running your body down. So that's one thing we didn't talk about, which we probably should have. But in that week, at least take some vitamin C so that you're not getting sick. You're around a lot of people. So, yeah, I mean, really consistency and log all that you can. I mean, you guys are in a group, so, be buddies for this, get some accountability, and because it's hard. So have a friend there by your side. That's it.
Perfect. Well, I can't thank you enough, and go to your crying, beautiful baby girl.
I can hear her in the background. All right. It was nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, girl. Okay, guys, don't leave. Don't leave. All right, I kicked Anne out. She gave us a lot of amazing information. She went into depth way more than I thought she should, and I don't want you to think you have to do this. This is very, very, I asked her to say, I want to know exactly what you do to get ready for competitions. And she is not, she's not very good on video. She's not a pageant girl, so it's okay. She did a really good job. I'm very, very proud of her. But I think she really, really complicated things in my mind, so I wanted to just really kind of chat. Yeah, go ahead. Unmute yourself if you have questions. It's just the 4 of us now. Camly, Elena, Sam. Are you confused? Are you overwhelmed? I hope it didn't do that for you. And I'm still recording, so we have a closed group, so Anne did us a huge favor, and I think she did a really good job, but I want to make sure we're all okay. Questions?
Hey, Mekayla, it's Laura. It's Lena's mom. I got a question for you. I know you had mentioned that you were going to put the slides up to put in the girls' notebooks. Were you still planning on that? Lena's been writing everything down. I'm like, I think Mekayla said that she was probably going to put that up.
I think I saved all of them but one, but I think it was a silly one. It was only one thing. So yeah, I'd be happy to upload those. I'll put those into the file section of our Facebook group, along with the interview. That's what I really want to make sure. I have an interview worksheet that you guys can have with all the things we talked about that you can print off. I'll make sure to post that and put that in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. I fly out tomorrow, and I'll be open for questions or anything when I'm gone. At the auto show, I mean, I have a crazy schedule, but I have a lot of downtime, to be honest. So if anybody needs anything, does anybody have questions about health and nutrition from a pageant standpoint?
I do have a question real quick. So I kind of have a problem with, okay, so like my arms, like my biceps, what are some workouts to tone those as well as like inner thighs? Because I have really nice,
Quads?
yeah,
Okay.
but my thighs are a little bit, or like, I just want to tone them up a little bit.
You got good. She runs.
Sure. Well, the best thing as far as cutting inner thigh, which stinks, is I honestly think it's high intensive interval training. When I worked with Anne, we did a lot of HIIT training, and you know that weird, I mean, for me, like you get this weird thingy going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, not only is it fat, but it's also a lot of water. It's really, you have to up your cardio sessions. So when I talked to Anne a couple weeks ago, and she's familiar with Beachbody. She knows that's what I do. She had recommended for me, because I really wanted a lot of tone and then to cut. So I'm a vegetarian, so I'm on a completely different meal plan. That's why I love Beachbody so much. Anne was a Beachbody coach for a while. She didn't have the time for it, but so she's familiar with it. So what I had been doing to help, because I'm also trying to slim down my inner thighs and like lift my butt, as well as slim and build. I think the most important is to make sure you're following a true workout regimen. And for Beachbody, I have been doing the chisel calendar from the Masters Hammer and Chisel. And then I have also added in cardio. And now that I am 4 weeks out, so technically I'm in phase 3, I guess, I have switched it. So I am doing total body weightlifting 2 times a week, and I do a high intensive interval training from T25, and that also does a lot of body weight as well. So I'm still getting that resistance training. I'm doing that 6 times a week. So, and that's what Anne had suggested. She had talked to me about it, and that's working for me. Anne she writes a lot of programming for people. That's what she does. Not only does she personally train, but she writes programming for people. So she was trying to be broad. She was being very vague. So if you were to pay her to do a program for you, she would break down like Monday, this is your workout, Tuesday, just like we do in Beachbody. So it depends on if you want to do it in the gym or do it at home like me. But I think it's most important that you follow one at home. And high intensive interval training is really going to help lean down the parts you want to lean. As far as building biceps, girl, I mean, you're just going to have to lift.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to lift weights. My biceps are so sore right now. And for you, for Outstanding Teen, it is really important that you are building up your triceps for that push-up in their fitness routine is very, very important, that you have a good push-up. Very, very important. So I would start doing all sorts of push-ups. You should be doing at least 50 push-ups a day. All different. You could do triangle push-ups. You could do wide push-ups. I would do tricep push-ups. I mean, you need to be doing, even if you're on your knees still, you need to be doing a bazillion push-ups a day.
And that would really build up her strength for her back handsprings too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm in competitive. I'm a cheerleader as well. So, and that's one thing I like about track is that we do a lot of running. And then every Tuesday and Thursday we lift like the free weights, like those big manly weights, you know? So that's what I call it.
I don't think honestly, you being 15 and 16, you really shouldn't, none of this really pertained to you until you get older, really, because you're so busy. I mean, you have all these extracurricular activities, your metabolism is at its height. Just make sure you're staying away from the junk. When I was with Jordan Axel, I, of course, was one of her directors the first year she competed. And then I helped her all through last year until she won. She did Beachbody with me, and she's doing Beachbody right now. she really, just because, again, she was just like you, active, doing all this crazy stuff, we literally just cut out all the junk she typically ate at dance competitions or on the weekends. So no ice cream, no fried foods, and make sure you're getting extra veggies in. So when you go to dinner, don't eat the rolls that they put out. Get a salad or veggies instead of fries, and no dessert, no ice creams. Really, that's all you guys need to be focusing on. So don't go into crazy, like pageant mode, because you don't need to. I mean, you really don't need to. As long as you clean up your diet, you're going to be fine. Sam, Camley, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I had one quick question. Okay, she had mentioned kind of like going dairy free, and so okay, how is important like is gluten free better, or is just eating like wheat bread important? Like what do you think would be better?
You're asking the vegetarian. I would say be very, very particular in your grains. So for me, I only eat sprouted grains now, unless we're out and I'll eat pizza. But even when we're out, if I have the option of eating whole wheat or whole grain, I will. But I even go a step further and buy sprouted grain. I will eat. Chris and I live off of PB&J. I am not kidding. That's what my husband and I, we seem like we're 12. But all these, you guys, has sprouted grain bread now. You can keep it in the refrigerator for it to last long. You don't eat a lot. Sprouted grain bread. And then, of course, buy literally not sugar-free things. Read the ingredients and make sure it doesn't say sugar in the ingredients. If it says sugar-free, usually they fill it with a bunch of chemicals, so don't do that. But make sure it says, we eat peanut butter. It's organic peanut butter from Aldi's, and it doesn't have any sugar in it. So you can put honey. Heck, put honey on your PB&J. That's fine. On that note, I also buy jelly that is sweetened with honey. Smuckers make it. It doesn't have any high fructose corn syrup or sugar or cane sugar or any of that junk. It's sweetened with normal, just regular old honey. So that is my go-to. I eat that a lot. I'll probably pack that in my bag tomorrow for the plane ride, so I don't eat something crappy on the airport. So I would say most important would be cutting dairy, because specifically cow's milk dairy, because I can post 100 million documentaries on it, you guys. Cow's milk is literally, God made it to design to grow a massive beast into a bigger massive beast in a rapid time. So and on top of it, now we put it through such a process. It's so many added hormones and the things these cows are eating. So if you are hardcore dairy foundation, you love milk, you have it tattooed on you, just buy organic, I guess, and try to cut back, but cut it out completely. I had someone ask me in my challenge group if I liked coconut milk versus almond milk. For me, it's a texture thing. I like coconut milk. Not to mention, coconuts are like one of the highest at demand. I mean, we have so many coconuts in the world. It's better to consume them than almonds, but that's just my own opinion. So those are healthy swaps that I make. If you're going to eat yogurt, watch, you guys, yogurt is a lot of hidden sugar. Go-gurt is horrible for you. Do not eat go-gurt. That is you're just as bad, if not worse, of eating a ice cream cone. That's how bad go-gurt is for you.
I eat a lot of yogurt because it's quick and it's easy. And plus it's just, I like it.
I like it as well. Try to buy Greek. Wean yourself off of it if you plan to.
Brands. I mean, I have some, I think they're like those little flips. Those are my little treats when I really have to have something sweet.
Yes.
But my husband and I, we really like the Greek yogurt, and that's mostly what we buy. But I was wondering if there was a brand that you would recommend over another for anybody. Just
read the ingredients. As long as if the sugar, if you can find a yogurt that's Greek and not like plain Greek chalk, it has under 9 grams of sugar. I think it's actually hard to find. A lot of them have 26 grams of sugar, which is your daily intake of sugar for the day in one serving. Once I was in pageant prep mode for Miss USA, or really Miss Indiana USA, that's when I was in my best shape, I would eat Greek yogurt, but I would buy the plain organic Greek yogurt, and I would just add honey or pure maple syrup to it with like homemade granola, and it was delicious. It did take a little extra time, but the honey or the pure maple syrup, at least I knew I was adding good sugars, not high fructose corn syrup or pure cane sugar or refined crap. So for me, what I'm doing, just so you know, because it's not anything to what Anne had. What I have done is Beachbody they have a bunch of different meal plans, and I usually try to find one that I know I can stick to and do my best to stick to it. But general rule for me is for a vegetarian, I am making sure I'm filling my plate with mostly vegetables and high protein vegetables. Yes, I did eat a can of spinach today, snack, because it was amazing and it tasted good. I mean, for me, it had that salt I wanted. So if you don't have any idea if you're eating a balanced meal, log your meals, just even for a few days, just how you normally eat in MyFitnessPal. Do you guys have MyFitnessPal? So MyFitnessPal is an app. Woohoo, there it is. I have it here. I log in, and I can put add meal, and then, whoa, I don't want the blog. Done. So you can literally, I can add a meal. I'll just say lunch, and I can barcode it. I can scan. I don't know how to barcode. You can scan the barcode, and it'll automatically put it in and show you what you're eating. So it's a really good way to track your food to make sure you're getting the right proteins. And for my macros, or percentages, if you don't know what macros are, right now I am eating. Think. I'll have to look what I set it to. Go back.
You said that was MyFitnessPal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
My goal is 40% carbohydrates, 30% fat, and 30% protein. That's that's what I'm trying to hit every day. And that's how you eat a well-rounded meal. So when she's telling you, you have so many grams of chicken and then so many grams of protein and then a little bit of a carb, that's essentially, that should be perfect when you meal prep, if you're meal prepping. So just make sure, go ahead and you can eyeball it. If you're at the cafeteria or if you're eating out, you can even look up like serving sizes of fruit. Sometimes it's like, this is 6 ounce chicken is the size of your fist, a golf ball. Portion size is huge. That's why Beachbody's portion control containers are so popular, because it's really hard to figure out. It's really hard to measure out and memorize things. I love portion control containers.
Can anybody buy those, or do you have to be involved in Beachbody?
No, you can buy them.
Okay.
I have some if you want me to send them to you.
Also, I found that apple cider vinegar drink she was talking about, and I found a bunch of stuff. I found some honey in it, which my one question is if honey's okay, because I know it's just sugar, which I think it's okay because it's like a natural sugar. But then there was another one, and it also had like cayenne too.
You're looking at recipes or brands?
Recipes.
Okay, I think she's just saying straight. She's just saying take straight apple cider vinegar with lemon.
Oh, okay.
So if you have hard time with it, go ahead and put honey in it for now and try. I don't know if you know the secret of honey, but you want to try to buy organic local honey, because the bees are from your area, and if you suffer from allergies, it actually counteracts your allergies. So it's best to buy local honey in your area if you can. If there's farmers markets, or if you have a Whole Food store, or where are you guys from? Elena, where are you guys? You guys Fort Wayne?
Angola area.
Okay.
So we get the real good stuff from my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you're set. Good alternative sweeteners. In my opinion, I eat a lot of pure organic maple syrup. I sweeten everything with that. Just make sure you want serving sizes in the back of it. Honey is a great one, always a go-to. I'm not a fan of stevia, not a fan of it at all. Agave I like a lot better. Agave is natural. It's an actual plant. Tequila is usually okay on diets because it's fermented agave. I think I'm the only one. Lauren, you and I can drink.
Yeah, you and I are giggling. I get it. I love you.
That and red wine, because it's all just fermented fruit, and yeah. So those are really good sweeteners. I would stick to those. Sam, you had posted in the group. Actually, I'm going to stop recording. That way this takes me an hour.